Welcome to the first episode of Talking Tunes with Sean and Jeff.
It is Saturday, April 6th, 2024.
You know, I think that we should start naming our episodes.
What would we name this episode?
Like the one where it all began.
Oh, you want to be that guy?
Yeah.
The one where, isn't that a Friends thing or something?
It might be.
Oh, so we're gonna go Friends style now.
Well, Simpsons did it.
And that was a little different with the Simpsons. A lot more clever.
No, it wasn't.
Whatever, I don't give a shit. Anyway, it's our first show. We're stoked, hanging out in the studio. Of course, ran into a bunch of technical difficulties.
Of course we did.
Just trying to get this off the ground, make it work. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really cool. We've got this guy helping us, and he's pretty awesome. We'll talk to him and probably touch him a lot and stuff later on in the show. But so you might have that to look forward to. We got to keep him awake.
Did you say touch him or?
Well, I didn't necessarily mean in any kind of erotic way.
Oh.
I'm just saying, he's here.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, we're hoping in this show to actually give you guys some context. We're not going to talk about the detailed history of music history of Scioto County, or Portsmouth, Ohio, but we do want to talk about it a little bit because it's pretty cool. We've had a lot of fun times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been, like we said, there's been some ups and downs, but we've had a ton of fun. People from all over the place have come down. There's a band called All Over the Place from Cleveland. The other end of the state. We are at the actual very bottom of the state, right before you get to Kentucky. So we are almost Kentuckians. So, do what you do. Think what you will of us. I don't know. We have a lot of Kentuckian friends. I actually have some family members from Kentucky.
Do?
I do.
I don't.
My dad's a transplant. He married a person over there. Yeah, it's
okay.
Maybe a man, maybe a woman. I don't know.
Wow. But, I don't care about any of that.
No, I got a little brother over there and some nephews. Awesome sister-in-law. Good family over there. I love them. But, so we've had bands from all over the place. They come down here. And what's funny is we've had bands come in from Cincinnati and Columbus.
Dayton.
Yeah. And they get here and they're like, man, everyone's like, Portsmouth's they're warning us before, these bands are getting warned before they get here. Be careful.
And there's no reason why.
That's another local band.
It is. Yeah. Try to throw the Schaefer's into that mix.
Yeah, good luck with that. But it's just funny. This is a small little town. We have a nice little downtown area, and things have been rough here over the years. But I think that kind of happened everywhere. I think.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear other bands' perspectives when they come here, and that's literally what this show is all about. So, if you think about the history of wherever you will, maybe you're from California, New York, Minnesota, Iowa, Indiana.
I keep going back to Kalamazoo.
What are you stuck on?
I don't know. I think it's just fun to say.
It is fun to say.
For me, it is at least. And ramp.
You like ramp?
I just like saying the word ramp.
So you love ramp?
I love ramp.
I'll have to remember that on your birthday.
Aww.
So when I was 16-ish, I didn't even know. I knew a little bit about the punk rock scene, just on the global scale. When I was a little younger, and I listened to a little bit of I think the Dead Kennedys, Misfits, stuff like that. But they were never my favorite thing. In fact, it really wasn't something I liked at all. I knew of those bands. I knew who they were. I listened, I had friends that listened to them. It just wasn't my shit. So, when I turned 16 and started, traveling out, on my own, and I found, people that I'd kind of already knew in Portsmouth, and they were going to these cool shows at the Big House and the JC's all age shows. And it was so cool. And I got to meet a whole bunch of really cool people and other musicians. And that's kind of where you and I met, even though we weren't friends for...
Well, we ran in different circles.
Yeah. I think we knew each other for probably close to... I'm guessing like close to 10 years. I don't remember
before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't ever remember saying a one word to you or you saying one word to me.
No.
I don't think... like maybe in the bathroom where it got awkward, because... This local place that we play a lot, the bathroom situation was...
It was awful.
Yeah, it got a little awkward in there. But
yet fun.
I'm sure I said excuse me a time
Probably.
or two. Like I'm trying to get by, you know. I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
Yeah. But yeah, all that time I'm like, I don't know. Fuck Sean Fraser.
Who's this guy?
He's kind of you seem like a dick.
Right. Well,
I thought you were a total dick.
Right. Because I kind of am. Not all the time. Just people I don't really care to know.
You know, come to think of it, yeah, you really are a dick.
Yeah.
I got that right after all.
Hey.
All this time, I felt bad for judging you so harshly, and yeah, I was right all along. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And for the record, after a few drinks, I do repeat phrases so much. I know this. You don't need to point it out in the comments. All right. I say it is what it is. You know. What's the one? We'll get there. I notice I've been saying that a lot lately. Like, well, no, don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. And we never get there. Well, we're going to try to get there.
But at that point during the evening, we don't even know if we're there or not.
I never know where there is.
No. So we just kind of go with it and just go, oh, yeah.
Are we there yet?
We'll get there.
All right.
Well, that was your kind of how you came into the scene, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mine was a little different. I grew up in a very musical, diverse household. I've told you this story before.
Yeah, but tell me again.
Well, I plan on it. I started the story that way. And
I'm just trying to give you some encouragement, you prick.
Oh, thanks,
See,
buddy.
there it is again.
God. Just interrupted me as I'm in the middle of a thought. But
I can't go more than 10 seconds without hearing my voice. Come on.
Well, like I was saying before I was properly interrupted, one bedroom of the house would be listening to like classic rock, you know, like your AC/DCs, Led Zeppelins, things like that.
Sure.
Then another room would be listening to like doo-wop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One of my brothers was listening to country. Another brother was listening to techno.
Oh, wow. I know which brother that was.
Yeah. And so I was kind of stuck in the middle of just listening to everything until, I don't know, I was probably about 14, 15, right around the same age that you was, whenever I started venturing out into my own. And mine was, I want to say the album that really brought me over to the punk side was Against the Grain.
Oh, yeah.
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 And I was like, I don't know what this is, you know? So I did a huge deep dive into like Bad Religions, No Effects, Minor Threat. So that was kind of my wheelhouse for a long, long time. But then, you know, starting to play shows. Actually, funny, the first band I was in, we were kind of like Great Value, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Oh. What was the name of this band?
Zipperhead.
Zipperhead?
Yeah.
Isn't there's already well, not already, but isn't there a band now called Zipperhead?
I don't know.
I don't either.
But
I don't even like music.
That was my first taste in, you know, actually playing music. And that was awesome. And then met a couple of guys. Next thing you know, we're starting another band, more like Big Head Todd and the Monsters kind of thing, Buffalo Tom. And then it switched over. I don't even know how it happened. that we ended up being a ska punk band.
Yeah, you're a bunch of fun guys
Yeah.
looking to party. It's all you guys did. I remember, we weren't enemies. We ran in the same place. It's what's ridiculous about it because we were in the same place, like probably night after night after night for years. And I'd talk to, Ian and Adam and even Matt sometimes. I was sure Matt hated my guts, but I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, I was definitely 100% sure that you hated my guts. And I was okay with it. I'm like, what? It is what it is.
Well, here we are.
It's hard being, 6'4", good looking, nice hair. It's really.
Who are you confusing yourself with?
I'm just trying to throw some of that dickery back at you.
But then you mentioned, like going to like the all age shows, the JC shows. Man, those things were hopping.
Yeah.
Then what? Tracy Park
Yeah,
would always do live shows.
Yeah, the Tracy Park shows were great. There was one time my band played there. Was No Reason Why back in the day. We were like I like to call No Reason Why a pop hardcore band because we weren't sure if we wanted to be the Bouncing Souls or Sick of It All. It was somewhere in between. Right. So I don't know what it is, but we were definitely harder than most pop punk bands, of course. And even then, that's a lot for, let's just say an elderly person who listens to gospel or country. And we booked the park and we were playing there and we had people already starting to show up. And we get there and we notice there's like a little old couple and they're like sitting front row. They're right up front. And they're like facing the stage and they're literally in chairs knitting.
Yes.
And we're like, that's strange. I've never seen this at a show before. And next thing I know, like my entire family shows up. My mom, my grandmother, who was in her late 70s, I think at this stage, or mid 70s, very, very Christian, very, not loud music, same with my mom.
Footloose.
My aunts, and they like brought blankets and they brought their chairs and they're all set up. And I'm like, my family came to see me. I'm like, I'm touched. I'm so like, I can't believe that this is really great. And so I go over and talk to them and they're like, oh, are you playing with Steve Free today?
Oh.
They had read in the paper that Steve Free was going to play at Tracy Park that day, but I guess they got it wrong. Steve Free for the folks at home that don't know. He is a
folk artist.
Folk, and he's like a charting. He's a big deal,
big time.
Appalachian, But yeah, and my family just loves him. But he's a real sweet guy, and we're actually friends with his kid, Dakota. But yeah, like so he was set up and at a park like I don't know what 15, 20 miles away in Wheelersburg.
Oh,
and apparently the paper got it wrong. I don't know who got it wrong, but all these people showed up to see Steve Free, which is not.
No Reason Why.
Not the kind of music that was getting ready to happen.
You didn't tell the couple, did you?
Of course not.
All right.
We told them, but then they were like, it was too late. They didn't want to pack up they had already set up all their stuff. They were set.
All their quilting needs.
Well, my family anyway.
So, I was talking about the older couple.
I let my family know what was going on, but they decided to go ahead and stay. By the time they packed the stuff back up and then went to it was, so they decided to stay. So anyway, fast forward, we played the show and that couple stayed right there for every bit of it. Our front man, Danny Eggers, he was literally like on the microphone screaming at these people. And they just sat right there and
knitted away,
buddy. Let me tell you,
I love it.
It was the craziest thing. I mean, we've seen, being musicians, we see crazy shit all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care where you go, something's bound to happen. And lots of stories about, nudity and like really like your rock and roll kind of stuff. This story, in my opinion, it's right up there with all of it, and there's none of that in there.
It's just wholesome.
It is. It's kind of wholesome and hilarious. I mean, think about it. Picture it in your head. A little man.
I'm gonna close my eyes.
Yeah. So you got a guy. What's Danny look like? So what would you say he looks like? You know what he looks like, but I'm trying to paint a picture for the folks at home. Kind of egg-like with glasses. No, he didn't have glasses back then. Danny's one of my best friends. I love the guy. I'm just giving him shit. But, he's not a very tall guy. He's not a guy that comes across as like threatening
aggressive.
or aggressive, and he is just screaming. He gave probably one of the best performances of his entire life to two little old people.
Darling people.
Yeah.
That was just sitting there to go watch Steve Free and knit.
Yeah, they were prepared to get it done, man.
Well, they got it done.
I don't know if they got it done. It probably is.
Doesn't matter. They didn't leave.
No, but there's probably something wrong with the final product of their knitting.
It gets real angry in the third set of the quilt.
Maybe it got better. I don't know. Maybe they discovered something. Maybe they went home and was like, I need hardcore. Maybe they went home and was like, man, it's, what you got, I don't know if they're going to go Pennywise or they're going to go Snapcase, or if they're, and this, you're talking early 2000s,
right.
So mid 2000s, I think.
So you're talking the elderly couple, what would they be going to?
Yeah, they're going to go home and like.
Snapcase.
I would think Snapcase.
Yeah.
Nothing against Pennywise.
Ooh, I don't know. Pennywise would be a good choice for that, though.
Yeah, but you get a little bit more aggression with Snapcase.
Yeah.
There's a ton of options there, but just like my brain does, it's not coming up with any.
We'll get there.
I'm thinking like suicidal tendencies. We'll get there. Dick. But so that's I know that we kind of. I had no intention on telling that story. That one just kind of popped into my brain tonight.
That's a good story.
It is. It's a great story.
I didn't know that.
I forgot it existed. I probably told that story 5 years ago.
Huh.
And for some reason it just popped in there tonight. We were talking about Tracy Park.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to we used to play at Doc's Legends. We used to play at the Brew Pub. You have a story about Doc's Legends, don't you? I think, didn't you play there one time?
Yeah, we played there, and it was the week after they did an all-male review.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
Look out, ladies. It's going to get a little saucy.
Yeah.
But I had a few beverages, a lot of beverages.
We know what a few means.
Yeah. And for some reason, the all-male review went, they did that here. So I went, you know what? I can do this too.
Right.
And
you don't need a college degree.
That.
Why shouldn't you? Of course you should.
Yeah, I'm not body shaming myself.
Nah.
I just know once I take one thing off, there's a chance other things are coming off.
It's hard to keep the rest of it off. Yeah, I know. Back in my younger day, there was a time. I don't know the time. It was like that internal clock, where some individuals in the bar, some real rascals. Let me tell you, they were rascals, and they would do what they call pants down.
Oh yeah,
drop trowel, and those individuals who participated in that, let me tell you, they were a real wild bunch.
Ruffians.
Real wild. And people it became a regular thing. Okay, it's something o'clock. These guys are probably going to take their pants down now.
It's something o'clock.
Right. I don't know what time it was.
The fact that, that it was like, oh, it's 11. Drop trowel.
Guys, I just noticed that my pants are still up. Are you still up?
walking around the bar. That penguin walking?
Yeah, right. And I mean, there was nothing, from what I remember about these fellas, these individuals, there was nothing sexual about it. It was just freaking hilarious.
Something that happened.
It's funny.
Right.
Look, Well,
I mean, that's kind of stuff that we always did back in the day.
Right.
Just weird things just because we wanted to do them.
And it's a little weird when you're like walking, out of the bathroom and you come into the bar and you're like, oh, all these dudes have their pants off. Not even off, just around your, like you said, penguin walk.
Yeah.
But those were fun times. Those guys were they were just the best.
Are we talking action?
It might have been those guys. Could have been anybody, really.
Who knows?
I don't know who did that, but let me tell you, those guys, they were something else.
Bunch of hooligans.
They were up to no good all the time. So, absolutely. And I have pictures of you singing on your microphone. I think it's in our intro.
What?
With your shirt off. You were dressed as Cinderella. Wait, you were not Cinderella. You were
Snow White.
Snow White. Yeah.
I forgot I did that.
I think it's in something I put on social media anyway. I don't know.
Huh. Well, if you find it, you'll see it.
You can see your pierced nips and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to Tracy Park, that's actually how I broke my tooth. Was at a Tracy Park show.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bass player, or
It's always the bass player.
always the bass player. I was just screaming. You know how I get sometimes. And then I kind of got into the moment. I threw my head down. Bass player had the headstock, chucked it upwards.
That's a big old hunk of wood, too.
Bass key went through my lip, shattered my tooth.
Oh.
Blood goes everywhere. Still finished the show.
That's metal as
Well,
fuck.
that's kind of metal. It's just more,
That's metal. What are you talking about?
just blood dripping all over
And you
me.
finish the show, and you're like fucking dripping blood. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
but we were
epic.
playing the happiest music ever.
You know what? It's when it's not about what's coming out. It's what's within.
Right.
And when you got the devil in you,
Oh,
it's metal.
yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I mean, you're technically spreading his messages, so. I don't know what I just imagine a lot of this.
Oh,
Drinking, girls, whatever. I don't know what you guys sang about.
drinking girls?
Drinking, I mean, that's the subject lines. I don't think
No.
I don't think you were
actually think
drinking.
that's one of the lyrics that we had was drinking girls.
I guarantee it was.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't know the lyrics to anything you sing now.
I know.
But we can't leave out. Well, I want to get to the last one I have on my list, but first I gotta say, Blondies, for the people who are local here who are listening. So Blondies was this bar that was known to be kind of rough, kind of.
Around the edges.
Is it? Well, I can't remember. Was it like straight up like? It wasn't like redneck, was it? It was just. It wasn't like our scene.
No, it
At
was almost like an 80s bar.
Kind of. I think back in the day, like in the 80s, it
No.
was probably the shit, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was an 80s bar.
Right. Right. No, I mean, like, I'm trying to describe the clientele, the patrons.
Oh,
And you know what? Let's just skip it. Because I don't,
just talk about Blondies.
It was a pretty rough place, but they had a really awesome stage. And my old band, No Reason Why, was practiced up and wanting our first show. And so we were just like, someone asked us, I don't remember who it was. I think it was I think the Ryan Atkins, or I think the Vacants played there. You know, Ryan would book a show anywhere he could.
Oh yeah.
I could be mistaken on that. Ryan, you can correct me later. I know you have a good memory and you're not going to forget. You're going to scold me if I'm wrong. But we were asked to play. We were asked to play at Blondie's, and we're like, really? We're gonna play at Blondie's? And everyone's like, yeah, but the stage is awesome, and it'll be good practice for them, And I'm like, all right, whatever. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy that that was a lot of fun years of my life,
Right.
and to think, whether anyone loved, no reason why or not, to think that the first show was at Blondie's. That's just crazy to me. And then I remember it too is pretty crazy. But so I don't know. Did you ever get a chance to play at Blondie's at all?
I'm thinking that we did, but man, at the high point of that band, I was normally intoxicated all the time.
Right. That was my teens, 20s,
30s, 40s. But
definitely my early 20s, definitely, for sure.
I wanted to say that when we played there, they had the mechanical bull out.
I don't know when that was. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was before or after.
Because for some reason, I just wanted, every time when we play, I want to say that if we played there, I did this. Man, I want to ride that bull.
You didn't ride the bull?
I didn't.
You wanted to ride the bull and you didn't ride the bull?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, it doesn't make any sense, but that's what I did.
All right. Well, then we can't leave out Steins. Steins has kind of been pivotal, really, over the last, I don't even know how many. I know that was our place. That was our spot. That's where we ran.
I'd say well over 25 years.
Right. Yeah. That's probably where we met. Even though we didn't officially meet, I think we actually met at a wedding. And you sat in front of me. I'd known you.
What?
Yeah, I'd known you for years and years and years. But the first time we actually spoke, I think, was at a wedding right before you left and moved to Texas.
Was I crashing it?
No. It was. I don't even know. It was a wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't remember that at all.
You were there with your, I think, then fiance, future wife. When you guys moved to Texas.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it was just funny.
No, it was, we met before that because Hail Satan's.
That was after.
Was it?
Yeah. That's me and you talking. I was like, hey, I might have a spot. I might need a singer for a little project I'm working on. We did this like every year we would have we'd throw together a cover band and we would give it a different name because it was basically just a Halloween party band. And Hail Satan's,
I remember,
not Hail, Hells. It's from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
It was Homer Simpson's motorcycle gang, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the Hells Satans. And like before that, we were.
And that's his second Simpsons reference today.
Well, it's The Simpsons.
Well, they've already done it.
What do you expect? I think there was Choose and Perish, Ghostbusters reference.
Right.
I don't know. There's a bunch of them. So anyway, I'm almost positive that's where we met. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's where we first spoke anyway. How's that?
Well, I'll give you that because I don't remember.
Yeah. I barely do. But you know what? There's a ton of awesome music history here, and I don't want to have a show dedicated necessarily to just going through and taking a deep dive into the music history of Portsmouth or Scioto County. But I do want to say I do want to talk to some of the people who are around. There we go again with that. Before like our little scene things, like some of the older guys who were playing in those cover bands, in probably where you're from too, back in the 60s, 70s, probably even somewhat in the 80s, you could be in a hard rock cover band and that's your job. Like that's what around here even that's what they did. We know musicians who like that in the 60s and 70s, that's all they did was play music and they made a living from it. And I'm like, really? I get paid like $50. We have to split that with like 5 other guys.
Excuse me.
I will never do that again. But that was the whole thing. But no, these guys used to make enough money to provide, not just for themselves, but sometimes families.
Right.
And they're fucking crazy. Every one of them. They're nuts. And these stories they tell are just...
Well,
there's always cocaine involved.
The pants down story.
Yeah.
Every generation has a story like that. A group of people who would get, I won't say, you said cocaine, someone would say coked out of their mind.
Yeah.
And just go create havoc. You know?
And make some awesome... I don't know how those guys even remember any of those stories.
I don't know either. But there it is.
Yeah.
And just like talking to Joey Ray.
Ah, yeah.
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 And just the stories and stuff that they would have is pretty remarkable. Just like, some of the stories that we're going to share. We're not going to unleash everything on this episode.
Excuse me.
But we've got some crazy stories.
We do. And I'm thinking that there should be some kind of maybe some kind of other version of the show where it's a little bit more selective.
Talking Tunes After Dark.
Yeah, a little after, because I can't go too crazy on here, guys. I got to provide for my family. And
you ain't gonna do it with $50.
Nope. But there's so many. There really is. There's so many great players. We lost. I don't know, probably around 15, 20 years ago, a really great player and just an awesome guy around here. His name was Steve Bowles, and he was kind of my guitar teacher for a minute. But he was just such an awesome guy. I've still yet to hear anyone say anything but positive things about Steve Bowles. He was such a good guy. But my neighbor Doug Parsley, I just talked to him last week. He's such a good dude, phenomenal guitar player. And he digs all the things that we do too. It's really cool too. He's
a music guy.
He is. He just loves it. So he's really cool. We've already mentioned Joey Ray,
right?
The late Bill Wisman.
Yeah,
that guy. He taught me how to play Wildwood Flower.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandpa gave me this guitar. It was my very first guitar. I was 12 years old. And he was like, look, and I have to be honest. I'm pretty sure my grandpa hated my fucking guts, right?
Oh, so it wasn't just me.
Right.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, he's giving me this guitar, and that's all I wanted to. Since I was a little kid, it's all I wanted to do was play guitar. But everyone thought, oh, that little brat, he'll just tear it up, and get him one of them little toy guitars. He'll be happy. I wanted a real guitar, and Grandpa gave me one. He's like, the only condition is you got to learn how to play Wildwood Flower on it. Well, I never did. And I had so many back and forths with Bill Wisman, and 1 minute he loved me, and the next minute he hated my guts and called the cops on me and shit. It's funny. Those are all funny stories. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. But trying to bond with him and trying to, I love the guy. I did, and he showed me some pretty cool ways to play it that weren't so. I think I'd learned some kind of simple version of it that was real kind of lame. He showed me some pretty cool little tricks. And
nice.
And then of course his wife Linda, phenomenal musician. She's I don't even know how old she is now, but I think she still plays music. She's getting up there.
Yeah.
And she's still doing it. It's just in her soul, that's what she does. The whole family.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, the whole family plays music.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or at least loves it.
Right.
So yeah, there's some really awesome history in here and some really great people who, we've been around over the years, and lots of stuff that we haven't even touched on.
Right.
But we'll get there.
We will get there. Yes.
This is just the first show. It's
and,
all,
what I think we're trying to do is just paint a picture of, how we are and what we how we came together.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
And just, trying to, helping you understand where we're at, why we're doing what we're doing. And I'll tell you this, why I'm doing this is because I need a musical outlet. I barely know music theory. Like,
I don't know music theory.
I'm not a solo guitar player. I'm not the best guitar player there ever was. I play guitar in bands, a few of them. I've done it for years. Definitely not the best guitar player, not the best singer. It's just fun. We've always done it for fun. I think that we've delivered a fun night.
Entertaining.
Yeah. But there were never any record labels, anything ever beaten down our door. Not that we ever tried.
No.
But the point is, there was just like, you don't have to be great to go out and do it, right?
No.
Right. You just go out and do it and have fun. But I got to the point where I don't want to carry I don't want to lug all that damn equipment around anymore. So I need a musical outlet, but I don't necessarily want to go and drag all that equipment around. I'm too old for that. I've done it for 30 years.
Right.
Close to it, anyway.
Buddy, I'm right there with you on that.
Right.
For me, whenever we decided to do the actual, what I call it, Vadio podcast.
Was it Vadio? Little check from the
engineer. It was Vadio.
Was it Vadio? He don't fucking remember.
Oh, man, I threw out gold earlier.
I want to fire that motherfucker.
And was the things that we talk about on here is the same things that we've talked about for years.
Yeah, that's what we do. Sitting around, having some drinks, talking about usually music.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes other things. Excuse me. But, when we sat down and came up with the idea of this, it was just, hey, this will be amazing. And then it took a big turn when we started, let's try to focus on local music, which I thought was fantastic. Because, that made me dive into more local bands, not just here, but all over.
Yeah, just local level bands.
Yeah. And I found some pretty cool ones.
There's some awesome shit out there. Well, back in the day, I used to, just from playing shows in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, whatever, you get to know their scenes and their people. And we used to know, like, all that shit, but I don't, I've been out of that game for so long. I had to message my little brother, Mikey, the other day and was like, hey, what were some of those bands we used to play with in Columbus? Other than playing for Texas, I was drawing a blank, and my brain does that, and it drives me nuts. The local level stuff to me, everyone out there.
Yeah.
Talks about, like, we could sit here all day and I could tell you all my favorite bands and what I love about them. And you know what? I don't love every kind of music. I'm not stuck as a punk rock guy. I think I'm more of a punk rock guy than anything. But I'm not a punk. You know what I mean? I wouldn't consider myself a punk. I like punk rock music. I like to go to punk rock shows. We've been to shows together. Yeah. We've been, I could sit here and say, I love like the Menzingers and the Flatliners and No Effects and all that. That doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? That's not adding to the show.
Well,
I could sit here and tell you, I don't like this band. I don't like that band. What they did here on this bar was stupid. And I'm like, there's so much of that shit already. People talking about what they love and what they hate. Why? The world doesn't need another show like that.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that.
The show needs two knuckleheads that get drunk. I mean, that drink apple juice.
There we go.
And talk about our friends. Talk about, people that we've been talking to. I've talked to so many people in the last couple of weeks just from kind of spurring all this stuff up. It's insane.
Yeah. I was completely shocked whenever we started posting videos on the TikTok talking to the Sean Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And, just seeing the response of people like adding us. And man,
Yeah.
So obviously there's more people like us out there that want to talk.
There's a whole country full of people like us.
There's a whole world full of people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But just to get together, hang out, have a few drinks, talk about some music, and for us to, talk about the bands we like and the bands we don't like.
Yeah.
I get it, but it kind of puts everything into perspective, which is super hard for me because there's not really a genre of music I don't like.
Well, and that people try to put you in a box when they find out you like this, you like that. And there's no box for us. There's none. We don't care about being cool. We don't care if you think we're lame. We don't care if you think that we're badass. I mean, it's not fun. It's better.
We're a mixed bag,
right?
Is what we are.
If people think, oh, that's cool. These guys, they can listen to anything. You don't know how many times I put on like 80s pop music and like cook dinner at my house, listening to Cyndi Lauper. We started a band that played mostly female pop songs. I mean, that's another. But people, I feel like if they learn little bits of us as we go, it'll all make a lot more sense.
Right.
There's no reason to just dive in and start. This is what I like. This I like. This I like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. That's to me. Maybe because it's just been done a million freaking times. I'm just not interested in doing a show like that.
Right.
And from what I can tell, there's not really a lot of people doing stuff like this, focusing on local level artists, bands.
Well, I'm not going to say
musicians.
that it's not out there because I'm sure that it is.
I think I've seen a couple things, but it's not saturated.
No.
It's not oversaturated.
So, when you have local musicians,
I don't think they're drinking and
talking about local musicians.
How are you going to not have a drink of apple juice while you're whatever? How are you not going to hang out, have a couple drinks with your buddy, and just spill it all out?
Right.
We're going to get people up in here talking about their experiences. We got our tech guy, right? He's over there right now in his little corner working on how to set up our Zoom stuff, make sure all that works properly, testing it. He works day and night on this. He's so exhausted for all the work he's put in, and we mildly appreciate it. I mean,
and he volunteered for this.
He did. Well, we'll throw him a bag of Cheetos every once in a while or something, and
because who doesn't like Cheetos?
Nah, he's a good guy, and he's helped a lot get all this going, and it's it's fun. And you know what? I think we said this in one of the video. I don't know if I put the video out. I may not have put it out.
Oh,
but we shot a whole thing. It's like, we hope that you enjoy what we're talking about. We hope that you find the conversation interesting. But at the end of the day, we're going to do this show anyway. So it doesn't, we've already invested, we pretty much already owned everything to do the show. My wife's a photographer, so I had all the studio lights. We had backdrops. We had to buy just a few things, and that was all. And we've already done that. So unless you really piss me off, I can't imagine this show. I can't imagine I'd ever piss you off. What would I do to you? Yeah. We're going to keep doing this show. Even if he pisses me off and I piss him off, that would be better. It might be a better show.
The way that it goes, we're going to get there.
You got to say it a little deeper than that. Don't worry, we're going to get there.
Nope.
We're going to get there.
I'll say it how I say it because that's how I said it.
Whatever, man. We're going to get there.
Okay. I'll say it like you. We're going to get there.
We're going to get there. We're going to get
say. We're going to get there.
I can't even say it like you. We're going to get there.
Well, because I'm very cheerful.
Whatever.
And you're not.
You think that.
I know that.
Oh, bullshit.
Really?
You're like the darkest
You're going
little
to sit here and tell me that I'm not the most civil person you've ever met.
There's a
lie to me. Go ahead and lie to me.
I'm not going to lie to you. I will only ever tell you the truth.
I know you will.
So it's fucking the way you do it. It's hilarious because you'll be the biggest asshole in the world, and you know you are.
Are you going back to the coat thing?
What? No. The coat thing? What are you talking? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
the coat.
When your wife and everyone came in while I was working, your wife was cold, and I was like, hold on a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think I that wasn't even in my brain.
Well,
what's in my
now it is.
Your first day back home from Texas, you carried her home from the bar. I was ready to leave her.
It really was. And she tripped up in front of the cops.
I didn't have any. I mean, I didn't have the strength to carry her, and I knew I had to make it home.
Right.
I had pizza rolls waiting on me.
Don't mind me. I got her. Oh.
It worked out. Mm-hmm. That's all that mattered. I'm sure I would have figured out something. Probably. No, what I'm talking about is you can just be the biggest asshole in the world, but you have a cheerful smile on your face, right. and then you think you're being positive because you're.
Well, because I am being positive.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think honestly we're gonna have to end on that note. Hopefully, we're
seriously
we lost way track of time. So, hopefully, we'll have merch soon. I think we're gonna work on merch at some point. Yeah. We do kind of have stickers. I don't know if you can see that or not, but those are fun, and we're gonna probably pass out a few of those tomorrow. But we'll talk about some of the more recent bands here, current bands, I should say. There's so many great bands in this town right now. We've been playing with over the years we've been playing with King's Hollow and Suffer, and the Further Along is really killing it right now. Oh, I forgot I'm wearing yeah they're out there. They're local, so if you get a chance and if you can if you want to check them out, please do so. We have so many great bands in this town. Mike and the Big Unit, Love Disc, Did
you get ready to say the Vacants?
I had them written down there. I wanted to mention them today, but we kind of did a little spiral there. My Tracy Park story kind of messed everything up. Great friends, but I just kind of wrote them down the wrong place. But Skent and Monkey's Uncle. And I do want to mention that it's not just rock and roll in this town. We have really there's all kinds. There's something for everybody. There's lots of country in this town.
Oh yeah,
Americana with DJ Everman, and of course we have the folk history with Steve Free. We have local rappers, good friends, Clint Askew and David Packard.
Right.
They actually had a hit 5 years ago or something
like that.
They kind of blew up there for a minute.
Raw World Revival?
Yeah, RWR, baby.
Bam!
Yeah. But there's so much great music in this town. It's a small town, and it kind of gets shit on for that. But some
of the best things happen in a small town.
Yeah, and every band that's ever came here to play, who's from a bigger city, they love it.
Love it.
They love it. So,
because when we go out, we go out in style.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, thank you for suffering through our first show. We're still learning. We're still figuring it out. Tune in next week. This is going to happen every Saturday for the foreseeable future.
Right.
So, thanks for tuning in, and check us out on Spotify, YouTube. I think we're also on Facebook. We have a TikTok. We have an Instagram.
Yeah.
We got it all.
We hit all them social medias, baby.
We do. We got them all. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time.
We'll get there.